Now, what happened to hundreds of people who apparently disappeared in Bangladesh during the rule of the Oid Prime, Minister Sheikh Hasina? Well, human rights. Watch claimed that security forces were behind more than 600 disappearances during her 15-year rule, many of them being political. Rivals Shena's government consistently denied any involvement. But now the new interim government in Bangladesh has set up a commission to investigate while act. Hussein is the BBC's correspondent in Dakar and to Dhaka and told me more about the scale of the problem.
It was a serious problem when Sheikh was in power for last 16 years. And many human rights organizations, they say that more than 600 people are disappeared. They're still missing. So the new interim government headed by the Nobel laureate, Professor Muhammad Yunus, they set up an independent commission. And this commission is comprised of former high court judges and human rights activists and university teachers. And they will trace and identify the missing people who fell victim of enforced disappearance during Sheikh's rule. And they will try to talk to people, and they will talk to people, and to identify that, who is missing. They will talk to their family members, and they will report to the, home ministry and other ministries so that, they can find out people who are still missing.
What sort of people were on that list of missing? I mentioned generally political rivals.
Generally political rival. But in general, we have seen, many people. They're like journalists, academician, human rights activist, and they were missing. And what we saw during Sheikh's row in the last 15 years, that two organizations, one is the Bangladesh's elite force Rapid Action Battalion, and another is Spy Agency, Military Intelligence Agency Director, General of Intelligence, DGFI, in court. They are blamed for these enforced disappearance. And we have seen that RAP, the elite force they are, accused of massive human rights violation. And this force was basically used for chasing political opponents. When Sheikh was in power and the military spy agency, the DGFI, they are also accused for the same thing. And they picked up many politicians, many human rights activists that tapped many telephone calls. And now these two organizations, they are scared of public backlash. And in the meantime, we have seen that different human rights organizations, they actually urged Professor Muhammad Yunus' government, the interim government, to disband this elite force RAB and to bring a reform in the DGFI, the military spy agency. And human rights activists, they say that without this reform or disbanding this organization, it would be very difficult to maintain a human rights situation in future. And that's why, they are calling for that. And in the meantime, we have seen that the United States, they imposed a sanction on Bangladesh's elite force in 2021 for gross human rights violation. So there are a lot of evidence that these two forces, they were involved with the mass gross human rights violation. And also they are involved with, enforced disappearance that is widely accused by the human rights activist